Welcome to Main Street. This is your host, Ryan Mack, with co-host Robin Barnes and Mario Bueno. Sponsored by Fifth Third Bank, this show that's helping individuals get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the jobs. We always like to start off with a tip. And because we're dedicating this entire show today to a good buddy of mine, and this tip is going to be dedicated to him, Lowell Hawthorne. The tip today, really quite simply, is just show love. Lowell Hawthorne is 57 years old. In 2014, the owner of Golden Crust Bakery, was over 120 stores, over 9 states, up to 2014, $114 million in annual revenue. He's been appearing on the cover of Black Enterprise magazine. You might have seen him on Undercover Boss as the CEO. Well, people hear all those stories about Lowell, but actually he was one of my mentors when I lived in Brooklyn. And many people don't know, and it's a special story, when I was starting my business and I got going, and as many entrepreneurs do, they didn't have a whole lot of capital. I just left Wall Street, and about a year later, all my savings were gone. And Lowell Hawthorne, every time I threw an event, he would always say, "Hey, Ryan, let me use Golden Crust to make sure you have your event." He would always do it free of charge, and he would always help me out. He would give me ideas and insight. He would always have a lending ear and a helping hand. He became one of my mentors, and not only that, a very good friend. This show is dedicated to him and all of his people out there. And we want you to know that, again, the purpose of this show is really just show love, folks, because he committed suicide at the age of 57. Got the news on late Saturday night, and I was very touched by it. And so I said, we need to do something special for Lowell because, again, he was my mentor. But the question is, who was Lowell's mentor? And who was actually helping him going through his tough times? And many of us might have friends and family members. Have you really taken some time to just ask your friends, your family member, your spouse, your loved one, your niece, your cousin, your aunt, your nephew, whoever it may be? Have you taken some time to say, "Hey, I know you're starting your business. How's it going? Can I hear about your business? Can I talk to you a little bit about it? Let me learn more about it. How can I support you? How can I help you?" We don't do that enough in our communities. We need to do a whole lot more. We have many entrepreneurs out there that are undercover, depressed, that are going through so many struggles and hardships, and many of the individuals who are running a business, they just cried last night because they're just trying to get revenue in the door. They're trying to keep the payroll going. They're just trying to make sure their spirits are up, and when they get on camera, they're all happy and go lucky and they're jolly, but behind closed doors, we don't know the stories of what they're going through, and that was exactly what I feel was happening with Lowell. I mean, we know the stories, and they might have had tax issues, but I don't want to get into all that because at the end of the day, Lowell was a good man. He helped a lot of people. He employed hundreds of people in the Brooklyn area and throughout 9 states with his franchise. And he was a mentor of mine, a friend of mine. And again, we're going to dedicate the entirety of this entire show to how we should be able to show love for our community. We've got some special guests coming up. So Robin, I know that you are a business owner as well, and you've been running Latitude and Latitude Foundation. You have your foundation, which you help the community. But I know you've gone through tough times as well. Can you think of any times when someone has actually helped you to get through a tough time?
Oh, absolutely. There's numerous people who have assisted me in getting through tough times. Just from transitioning from being up under one real estate company and then starting your own. It takes at least 5 years for, a company to get stabilized. So you're constantly up and down, worrying about how you're going to pay this bill, that bill. I had a great support system. They still are my support system. They right there with me, always giving me more debt ideas that they know I'm gonna love, but they help out with it. So yeah, I have had a lot of people that have helped out. I would probably say in particular, I call him my dad. He's not my actual biological dad, but he has been there to help me through some real tight times. So I guess I give a shout out to Daddy Edward Bryant.
You on Rich Dad Poor Dad? you on Robert Kiyosaki Rich Dad Poor Dad?
No, I have right. Yeah. So it's been some people that have. It's a plethora of people that have that has been there.
Amen. I like that. I think one of the biggest angst that I have is when I hear that self-made. Self-made, it's
because who did that for themselves?
Right. I mean, even God, who is energy, had to create man to be able to understand what love is. He had to create himself to love himself. But you're self-made, right?
Right.
So it's funny thing, entrepreneurship. I think as a man of faith, I believe that the greatest gift that you can give back to the Creator is actually figuring out why you're here.
Purpose.
You know, and when you figure out why you're here, you discover your own gift, your own entrepreneurship, your own business, because
Right.
you are a solution to a problem. So that's the greatest. And you know, when you talk about struggle, and it's unfortunate that your friend didn't have a mentor.
Right, right.
Because pain is a message, and what you need is a mentor to help decipher what that message is.
Because many individuals, you see the revenue. It's
Absolutely.
$114 million in revenue, 2014. You see the 9 states, 120 stores. You see the success of individuals, but you don't see the pain of individuals.
Right.
You don't look behind. You don't know exactly what they're going through or how they're going through it. So sometimes we automatically just assume that, hey, this person's A-okay. But they're suffering from depression. I remember the first time that I was ever on CNN, it really took someone. I remember I was watching, true story, I was watching television, and I was watching Jerry Willis, who was on television at the time. This was 2007. And I said, you know what, Jerry Willis, she's doing the personal finance editor for CNN. I can do that. I said, God, I want to do what she's doing. And about 9 days later, on a Friday, I ran into Alicia Stewart, who was on the train, who just happened to take a job at CNN, who was a producer. And not knowing, 2 years before all that, I was trying to get her as a client, realized she didn't have any money. I thought I wasted my time. But she followed me, and we became good friends. She got that job. 9 days later, she said, hey, Ryan, would you like to go on CNN? That following Monday, I'm getting a call from Jerry Willis's producer. On Tuesday, 13 days later, after I saw Jerry Willis on the screen yelling at guys saying I need to do what she's doing, I'm on TV with Jerry Willis. That became my CNN. I couldn't have done that unless Alicia Stewart decided to be a blessing.
Relationships.
I couldn't have done that. See, God many times sends blessings to other people.
Right.
And the purpose of this show, I really want folks to understand is that, are you going to be ready to not only receive your blessing, but to be the blessing that God wants you to give?
That's key.
And then we have to be ready to receive that as well as to give that. And many times it says, freely you have received, freely you have shall give. So we can't be only on one side of the coin. There are many individuals out there who are waiting on you to bless them, but because we're so concerned about our own issues, our own problems, can we reach outside ourselves to give towards other people? I know, Mara, you've had some personal stories that you've overcome adversity, haven't you?
You know, I've been home 4 years come January 22nd, after 19 years in prison from the age of 16. 16 different adult prisons, 3 years in solitary. By the grace and glory of God, having mentors have lit the path that I've traversed since I've been home. You know, you don't work for the legislature. You don't develop a program and a model that employs men and receives $300,000 in contract. You don't do these things. You don't finish a degree in accounting in 3 years. You don't do these things without opportunity and without an anointing and grace to bear that weight load. One thing I do want to stress is that at each stage of development, if we accept the temptation to become comfortable, then we're not going to be strengthened to be able to go to the next level,
Right.
the next dimension. So we have to understand that a certain degree of suffering is essential to be able to go to that next level. But we have to accept the pain as a message, but have mentors to decipher what is that message saying.
So Robin, is there a particular time or an instance that you can look back on and say, wow, this was I wouldn't have gotten through without someone just helping me out and get to the next stage?
Oh, shoot. I can think of that. When was that? 2015, end of 2015, Thanksgiving, where I do my annual go to the Lions game. And I had a cold and had a bad cold. And I was like, well, you know, give me some antibiotics and take them. You know, I used to work in the hospital, so I have no real thing with medicine. So I was like, I just give me some antibiotics and go. So I went on and had a good time, but I could feel myself going down. So didn't do the Thanksgiving dinner. I ain't had no appetite, nothing like that. And that one cold ended up turning into the flu, which ended up turning into a string of flus. And because I had never had a flu shot. And so it was just like boom, boom, boom. And it went on until about February is when I finally got to a point where I could stand up. But during that time, mind you, as being a broker, and I'm the broker in my office, you know, I am the only one at that time. I was like, oh, shoot, you know, all my stuff is going haywire. I'm trying to make my deals work. You know, I'm doing it from bed. but I couldn't go get any new business. So I was using up all of my savings. Now, thank God, and that we was taught to always have 6 or 7 months of your savings saved up. So I put it in this bank far away so I couldn't get to it. But the beauty of it is when I needed it, I just sent my friend. He went to go get it. And if it wasn't for him, his family, and me, and that amount of money, and once it ran out, I had to depend on them, and because my family doesn't live here. So it wasn't a quick call to, hey, come bring me, So I went through quite a dark time that I have never been through. And it was quite scary being single female. It was quite scary. But God is good. I stayed prayed up, and I'm back on my feet now and moving forward. And but like you said, I think that was something I needed to experience because we've always heard about, well, that's what you have to do. And now I see how that actually typifies and works in your life. So now that I have that experience, it's like, hey, don't get 6 or 7 months. Try to save up a year,
Right.
because you never know. So
Well, again, that's the purpose of this show. Again, is love. It says in the word, our love must not be a thing of words and fine talk. It must be a thing of action and sincerity. So if we really love our community, I see so many individuals who talk about love, and that's the most powerful word in the English language because God is love, right? So if we're going to show love, then we must have the action behind it. And that action behind it means that we must reach out to our entrepreneurs. Don't walk by a new business without asking if a new restaurant, hey, welcome to the neighborhood.
Right.
Embrace them, open them. Don't just criticize. That's not real love. Being critical and saying, hey, well, I just got to tell them because they had bad business or slow services or a bad product. That's not real love. Help them embellish and improve upon their product. Show love, and that's what we do. We had a 1917 Bistro, our favorite restaurant. He was on here the other day. I mean, it's not a single day that goes by when someone doesn't go on there and giving suggestions on how we can improve upon his establishment. As a community, we are not going to grow together unless we can come together as a community and show love towards one another. So that's what today's show is really all about.
In addition, in harmony with that, I also want to say that we as individuals cannot grow if we don't accept some level of criticism.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
We must. You
Right.
must be able to be critiqued.
But done in love. Done in love.
So I guess some of my I think those who have empowered me the most it's been done in hate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I believe all criticism has some grain of truth.
I remember the first time when I got my insurance license. It was 2006. And I was green, just had my license and didn't hardly know anything about it. And I got Yvette Lewis was one of my first clients. And I'll tell you, I was awful. And it took me 6 months later, she still hadn't had that policy written up yet and didn't get pushed through underwriting. And she sat me down and told me why she was going to somebody else. She said, you're too slow and you took too long. I wanted to use you, but I got to go to somebody else.
Absolutely.
But she did it because she was a
That's
friend
in
of mine.
love.
She
Absolutely.
did it in love. And because of
Absolutely.
that, I hired Christina Hodges. And boom, that combined with a little bit of CNN exposure helped my company to really
get started.
grow and expand. But had not she taken the time to just love and tell me and do that, and she did it so lovingly. I mean, I've never been criticized with so much love.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we get it a little confused when we say love. We thinking the foo-foo and all that. But let me tell you, entrepreneur. Let's talk real.
Bring it real now.
Entrepreneurship is not a sweet, cute, fluffy
No, it
little
isn't.
puppy.
No, it isn't.
The people you're going to come in contact with, and especially the ones that are successful, have gotten that way through different trials and tribulations. And they may not be speaking to you. You can't be a crybaby. You gotta understand that when somebody is telling you, Sonny, you gotta get some skin on you. You gotta be able. Then when I say, you know what, that is the most sloppiest contract I have ever seen.
You gotta receive
and you're
it.
gonna have to. You can't be. Oh my God! You gotta get yourself
Emotional
together.
intelligence.
You gotta
have to have it.
understand that where we are trying to tell you. Even when I, go to kids and they come, all that. I said, but at the end of the day. Is that going to get you here?
Well, I tell you what.
You got to have goals.
I tell you what, I've had one of my greatest mentors is the director of customer service for the mayor's office, Adrian Tanon. We've been mentoring each other, a co-mentoring relationship since a year and a half before my release. Right, so we have a long relationship. He was just simply working on the campaign, and he is a man who has three sons, and he's very patient, extremely patient, to the point of sickness almost. Now, fast forward to my other great mentor, Harvey Santana, who used to jump out of planes to save people during the war, right? Hoorah. So, different mentoring style. One's very kid gloves and the other with no gloves.
Kick you out the
right?
plane.
With calluses
He'll
on.
kick you out the
Right.
plane, 'cause he know
Let me
you're
at the
gonna
same
pull the
time.
parachute.
But I tell you what, I tell you what, both have been life changers in my life for the positive.
Right, and you need
and
both.
both had love.
Yeah.
It was just different,
Right,
expressed differently.
And you know what? And I think something else we have to realize too is that God is a God of balance.
Amen.
So
Yin
you
and
you
yang.
can't just have all this fluff, or when something hard come,
Yeah.
you know, he gonna beat you up.
Right.
You
Right.
can't. You know, the ideal is to come out of this thing looking spiffy clean. Even
Out of the shadow of death.
Even if you're not that clean, you need
Yeah.
to come out looking like that. So you gotta take the good with the bad. Pull out what needs to be at the end of the day. Always get back to that in your mind. I'm a focus fanatic. Focus and goal. My father taught goals. Be goal. Look at this paper. What you got to do. Get to that at the end of the day. That's what has to happen. I'm very focused. I can't go through all the you fussing at me. I can look at you just going off and pick out what I need out of all that conversation.
Right.
And just what I need to go forward. And that's how you have to be in business, because you're dealing 9 times out of 10, and I'm just going to kick it real, you know, you're dealing with white males and who are running major corporations, businesses, national businesses. As a female, they're going to come at you because you don't get the fluff just because you're a girl.
And a lot of these cultures, a lot of these men, a lot of these groups can sit there, argue tooth and nail, and then afterward,
After we go
Yeah,
out
we
and
can
have
go
a
have a
drink.
drink.
Yeah.
Have a drink.
Have a
And you
drink.
got to learn to be
and
that
that's
way.
the emotional intelligence that we as a people, we as
Yeah.
a culture must learn and must reproduce in our children and those around us and embrace.
Well, I got to tell you that the lesson for the first segment is no use crying over spilled milk. Just be happy your floor is clean. So with that, we're going to go over to the next segment. This show, sponsored by Fifth Third Bank, is dedicated to Lowell Hawthorne. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you, my brother, for all that you've done to me. We know you're up here looking down and smiling bright. We know that there's a better place for you. You've been promoted. But up next, we've got an individual, an amazing young man, Jay Alexander, who's doing some phenomenal things with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And he is essentially exemplifying exactly what love is and helping other individuals show love to the community. Coming up next on Main Street, sponsored by Fifth Third. Don't go anywhere.
Every success story starts with a spark of curiosity, of wanting more. Wayne County Community College District has more than 120 academic and career training programs and support to help you every step of the way. From registration to financial aid to career placement. Find your spark and get on a path to your best life. Register today.
Welcome back to Main Street, sponsored by Fifth Third Bank, the show that's helping individuals get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the job. This is Ryan Mack, co-host Robin Barnes and Mario Bueno, here today talking about love, the importance of love. The show's dedicated today to the late and great Lowell Hawthorne, owner of Golden Crust Bakery. And so Jay Alexander with us, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Metropolitan Detroit, the Vice President of Development Operations. Thank you so much, Jay, for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Now, Big Brothers Big Sisters is about love. This is what you all do. Every single day, you help individuals show love and cultivate love with individuals who might not have had that love before. So what are some of the things that Big Brothers Big Sisters is going on?
There's a lot going on with Big Brothers Big Sisters as we trying to expand the organization, trying to expand our reach throughout the community. And you know, we service Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb counties, and so we're just trying to grow the number of kids that we have to provide them with a mentor, someone who is going to basically help them along the pathway.
So we were up here talking about mentorship and the value of mentorship. And to me, I've had many mentors here, whether it be Bob Warfield, whether it be lately Jimmy Settles is really assisting me and talking a lot, to Bishop P.A. Brooks is really helping out to kind of guide me and direct me, to my pastor Marvin Winans, who's really done a lot to assist me with helping along the way. From your perspective, why is mentorship so valuable, and what made you take this role? Because you really have an instrumental role and congratulations on the role, by the way.
Thank you.
So why is mentorship so valuable to you?
It is extremely valuable because you've given someone, or you're giving someone, a roadmap, right? And you've given them opportunities that they would never have if they wouldn't have met you, or if they wouldn't. You pave the way for them and their future to help them along the way, right? If we don't know, we don't go, right? If we don't have that opportunity to know what's out there, what's in front of us, we can't take the first step, right? And in our community especially, we just don't know what's out there, right? When you talk about jobs, you talk about all of these opportunities that they have in the suburbs, is because they have touches outside of their family. And you know, I read a story through the Search Institute not too long ago, and they talked about the 5 touches that one have to be successful or not successful, and they're simply expressing care, challenging growth, professional support, sharing power, and expanding opportunities. And it's said that 2/3 of those who have those touches outside their family are successful in life, and they actually come from more affluent parents and households. Conversely, 2/3 of those show that they don't have touches outside of their family, and 2/3 of those are in poverty.
Well, again, so we had an individual, a dear friend of ours, Vaughn Arrington, who, I don't know if you know Vaughn or not, but he specializes in really going out and helping individuals develop. I've seen some of the kids that he's worked with who've grown and flourished, and they've become business owners among themselves.
Quarter cuts.
Quarter cuts. They started their own landscaping company
Outstanding.
because of that mentorship role. So what you all do is you help individuals to be and do what like Vaughn Arrington is doing
Absolutely.
every single day, right?
Yes, we do. Every single day we take at-risk kids or kids facing adversity and pair them with a trained, developed mentor. And it's not like, okay, we're going to take you off the street to mentor this kid. It's no, we're in a class, we're in a boardroom, so to speak. And this is my athletic background. This is my favorite part, where I have my program officers. They're actually in the boardroom, and they're saying, no, let's pair up him with him. Let's pair up him. No, he'll be good with him. No, I want this guy with this guy, because this is what they do. And so I said it to say it is a strenuous process that our program officers go through to make sure they make the perfect match, if you could really have the perfect match. But they really do a really great job. And consequently, our mentees, our mentors mentor at least 1 to 3 years on an average because of that, and because of our programs and because of our data. We're so data driven, and that keeps us goal oriented. That keeps us following the process and getting better as what we do and how we do it.
Have you ever been involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters?
No, not personally. I haven't. But I guess my good question would be, what kind of referrals? What kind of referral system do you have for the at-risk youth?
We get them from teachers. We get them from their own parents. We get them from incarcerated individuals who come actually to. They actually come or not come, but they write us letters and get us those opportunities so we can mentor their kids.
Excellent.
And so again, what are some of the criteria? Someone's out there watching you right now, and again, we encourage everyone to get in, because I was involved in a good buddy of mine, my fraternity brothers, Matthew Marks. I became first involved when I was a sophomore in University of Michigan, and the relationship that we were able to build from being able to play. Go ice skating and all those type of things, and just taking the museum and just spend some time and go through, you have tutoring lessons, right, and go over their homework. I mean, the relationship is invaluable. So I'm urging everyone out there right now to just, as you're listening to Brother Jay speak, listen to what he's saying and just urge you, please get in contact with him. And so what are you looking for right now in terms of different types of, because you do some site-based learning as well with different corporations.
Absolutely. So we do a site-based program, we do a community-based program, and that's what we're really known for. But our site-based program, we've just expanded that program into what we call a lunch buddy program. And so we actually go into corporations who said, hey man, we would love to mentor, but we just don't have the time. Well, guess what?
We're bringing them to
We're
you.
bringing them
Come
to
to
you.
you.
There
So
you
we
go.
bring them to you for lunch, and
Can you name any of those?
Yeah,
Any of those corporations?
sure. FedEx just signed up.
good.
We have, I think AAA. You have one of our big ones. I forget already. I'll think of it later. But yeah, but we have. I think we're in like 4 or 5 corporations.
Is
Willis
Fifth Third
Towers.
Bank a part of it?
Willis Towers. I think they're going to be soon. I just talked to Tonya, and we're in the process of doing
Okay.
some things.
Yes. Okay.
So we're excited about that future partnership as well. So, but again, we've taken it out. We've taken out the I don't have time,
Right.
right? And we're bringing them to you.
Because this is what it's really all about. At the end of the day, we what your organization does, which is why I encourage anyone to not only to donate. So if you're a corporation, if you're an individual, you can donate your time, or you can donate your capital. Because it's year-end
Absolutely.
capital campaign that's coming up right now,
It
right?
sure is.
So
It sure is.
Where can people donate money, and how do people contribute?
They can go to our website at bbbsdetroit.org. Always and donate. But right now we're doing a special campaign called the Brown Bag Challenge.
Oh,
And-
wow.
And so what we're doing is we're asking people to pack their lunch and donate their lunch money,
Look
right?
at this.
Oh,
And send it in to us to help us in our mentoring efforts.
Look at this.
that's kind of cool.
So say that one more time. So pack their lunch.
Pack
and
your
donate
lunch and
money.
donate your lunch money.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you're saving money
Yes.
on
absolutely.
actually bringing your lunch and you're brown bagging it,
Mhm.
and you
get
donate the rest.
And you're getting a write-off.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's
So
a
good
brown-
organization.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Brown Bag Campaign.
Brilliant
So
idea.
fiscal. This is a show. It's an economic show. That's economics all around, and
That's
you're
it.
actually helping somebody.
Mhm.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Is this something that you all been doing every year?
No, it's something that I created. Just started it. Brought it in with me, basically.
Really? Oh
That's
man,
one of
they're
my
loving you
ideas.
over there. Look
That's
at that.
it. That's it. So we're sending it out to a bunch of corporations that are already funders of ours, sending it out to a bunch of donors, and just getting it out as much as we can.
Wow.
Yeah, and every Tuesday of November.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You see, and what's the average lunch amount that people spend a day?
Well, I would say it's like $10 at least, right?
10 to 20,
So,
10 to
my
15,
favorite-
$20.
yeah.
You know, I know me.
My favorite saying: "With the help of many, we can do great things."
So what are your challenges? Because
Mm-hmm.
we know that we see the work that Big Brothers and Sisters, Big
Mm-hmm.
Sisters is doing, and we see the value in it. I mean, again, you all are doing phenomenal work. We see all the time, and we always say, everyone can agree, our youth need more direction.
Mm-hmm.
They need more direction. You all are providing that direction. However, I know that you all have challenges. What are these challenges? Because to me, this seems like a win-win for everyone to have a stronger rearing of our community children, to be with qualified, trained mentors. What are your challenges, and what are some things that obstacles that you're trying to overcome now?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. One is always funding, right? When you have a nonprofit organization, we're always struggling to make the ends meet at the end of the day, no matter who you are. But more importantly, mentors from our own community. I can't beg and ask and stress enough the mentor support that we need from our own community to mentor people who look like, act like, feel like, and touch like, and
Why
look
do
like them.
people say that they don't sign up? Because to me, is it time? They just don't have the time, and now you seem like you've got this site-based mentorship program. What's the excuse now for not signing up?
One of the excuses is the background check, right? It's one of those background check where, we're known for the bougie mentor organization, and it's
Right.
because of the background checks. But, realistically, we want to make sure that you have never hurt a kid, a child. You're not one of the offenders, on the registry and things of that nature. Everybody's had past, and, but we just really want to make sure that you're not a threat to a child, to hurt a child.
Well, it stands right here. I mean, even if you don't pass the background check, it still doesn't mean you can't give. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're having issues with your background as far as something with incarceration, I know this probably be something for you know about. But they said the average cost to incarcerate a juvenile in the U.S. in a detention facility is $407.58 per day. The average cost to sustain one, big brother, big sister youth is $465 a year. So you can mentor one kid for less than $500.
So it's an economic argument as well.
Oh, it's
Absolutely.
economic, and it could, I even kind of lean toward the laziness of it, or
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah,
For
I
sure.
lean toward that a little bit more because we go through money. I mean, we spend $1 trillion a year in the African American you know,
Right.
where we in our community. So I don't see where $500 is going to be a problem when we
Right.
giving Nike $200 and some dollars for tennis shoes.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
You know?
it's about priorities.
Yeah, right. It's about priorities and it's about what matters. But then we can't also turn around and be upset when that same juvenile, you know,
Yeah.
hurt another kid for those
Absolutely.
same tennis, for those same Nikes.
And I'll just say this: kids, when you decide to sign up for it to be a mentor, it not only affects the kid, but it affects you
Oh yeah.
in a positive manner. I've heard so many stories where from police officers, from Congress people saying that, you know, this was a big step for me. And now, you know, now I feel great about myself and about this individual that I've done, and it's changed my life. Not only that kid's life, but it's changed my life. And, you know, just the ability to go in and shape a young person's mind, to give them the things that they never would have, and the opportunities and the 5 touches, if you will, that they would never normally get. You're going to give that person a fighting chance. I mean, our statistics are ridiculous. I mean, 72% go to high school and go to or get past high school, go to college. I mean, they go on and on and on. But the most important thing is the mentor provides stability for an individual. I mean, it's more like I've been a big for 6 years, even before I was with this organization.
Right.
As a baseball coach in college, my former career, I sent over 300 kids every Monday to be mentors with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I don't know why I did it, but I mean, you know,
Yeah, they knew they
right,
needed it,
right,
right.
absolutely. And I just said that, hey, you need to give back, because at the end of the day, if you don't give back to this kid, this might be the same kid that robs you later on.
Yeah, that's the very example we used as we gave testimony at the House of Representatives a few years ago in relation to the DPS debate, the resources, and I articulated to those who were in power, who reside in the Ionia, the up north areas, that everyone comes to Detroit for the games, for the Tiger games, but you know we criticize DPS, but everyone's benefiting from the casinos or the
No
sports. But that child who misses out on those resources at 11 or 12 will be that same one that shoots you and robs you when
Absolutely.
you come down with your family for that one event.
Right, right.
It's in our best
No
interest.
such thing as a victimless crime.
Absolutely, it's in our best interest to focus on the front end of the criminal justice
Absolutely.
issues and solutions.
And this is what I don't understand. I really don't understand why our community does not look at organizations like yours as the proactive solution. You know, you don't install a fire alarm after the house is burned down, right? You don't put on your seatbelt after the car is crashed. You do all these things to prepare for all those things that might come. We know that one thing, the most perpetual element of any part of all of our lives is change.
Yes.
So no matter what happens, we're going to go through change. We're going to be prepared for those things. What your organization is doing is preparing our youth for those changes. They're preparing those youth for those obstacles, getting them prepped so they can go to school, get an education, learn a trade, see more than just beyond their walls, and say, wow, you know what? Had I not met that individual, I wanted to become a doctor because I met Dr. Bernanke. When I was 11 years old and I was a caddy. Dr. Bernanke was the first person I'd ever met who told me about before
Not the
that.
Fed chairman.
Yeah, no, Dr. Bernanke. No, he was at Detroit Golf Club. No, but before that, I literally wanted to be Billy Sims. I mean, that's what I wanted to do. They said, Ryan, what did I do? I want to be Billy Sims. Like, I wanted to be Billy Sims.
Right.
I didn't. You can't tell me I couldn't be Billy Sims. I wanted to be Billy Sims. But here comes this doctor. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing? You treat patients every day? And so he talked to me about it. And we sat down, and that relationship formed and sculpted me to actually start researching about how to go to school and how to go to college.
When you're exposed,
Yeah,
whether it's to
absolutely.
experiences or people, your vision of yourself expands.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I like what you said,
once,
you don't know.
once your mind expands to that certain point, it can never shrink back.
You can't.
So what was that light that went inside of your mind that said, you know what, I want to be a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I want to be a part of shaping this organization? What was that light bulb that says, I want to get this done? Was it your relationship and what you've done with the organization in the past?
Well, it's funny. I think it was a relationship with my players, right? And I was fortunate enough to have all these players that played for me that was privileged, right? And so I look at it, and I'm in these communities that are not privileged, right? I coached at Wayne State, I coached at Eastern Michigan, and so I'm I'm thinking like, these kids need a feeling that or experience that I want to be like you. And so what I did was say, you know what, I want all of you to mentor and give back, and here's why. So that this kid can come to our practice, can come to our locker room, sign your autograph, and say, and watch you play and say, you know what, I want to be like him. Well, guess what?
Instead of the dope dealer down the street.
You got to go to college.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so that was my whole goal.
I love it.
And so a couple more times, what the number? Because somebody out there, they want to call you, they want to become a mentor, they want to give to the capital campaign. We urge all individuals out there, please give to this organization. They're doing such phenomenal work at molding and shaping the lives of our children's future here, not only Detroit, but you all are in 3 counties. You said.
Wayne, Oakland, Macomb.
So
wow.
you're Metro Detroit.
Yes.
You're doing great work. How do people give?
Like I said, go to the website at bbbsdetroit.org. They can call our office at 313-309-9220.
Okay, and somebody out there, they say, wait, because I sense it.
Well, let them get the pen. Let them get the pen.
There's somebody out there.
But tell them
Okay.
if you have an aunt or a grandmother
Yes.
watching and she wants to get her grandson or niece or
Yeah.
nephew or child, how would they get a hold of you? How would they do that?
Okay, they picked the pen up now. Okay, I see it. They got the pen now.
Absolutely.
They got the pen.
Oh,
they got the pen?
They would either
They got
call
the
me
pen.
There you go.
at 313-309-9220 or go on our website and sign their child up at bbbsdetroit.org or contact their teacher and tell them to contact us.
Excellent.
So let's be very specific, because people sometimes need to understand what the ask is. You can give money.
Yes.
You can give your time to
Time.
be a mentor, and that is if you're an individual or if you are a corporation,
Absolutely.
right? So for those individuals that know of corporations, you need to get on your phone and say, hey, you know what? You're an organization, you're a corporation. You need to get involved with this organization, right?
Absolutely.
So we need to be very deliberate about how we go about supporting our organizations, because we just can't let these organizations keep up the fight by themselves. They have
That's
to have
right.
you out there getting them done, okay?
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Jay Alexander.
Thanks a lot for
coming on the
having me,
show
Ryan.
today, brother.
Appreciate
Jay,
you very
how can I
much.
get some of these brown bags?
You can have. I got some in my
All
my
right.
briefcase.
We're gonna get these
That's
out.
right. Pass
We're gonna
those
get
out.
some money.
Well, we're going to be all brown bagging it this week, I got to tell you. But coming up, another one of my favorite organizations, a neighborhood services organization. We have Sharon Meyer, the Senior Director of Corporate Development. This organization is doing some phenomenal things. They're helping the homeless. They're helping the youth, workforce development. Coming up next on Main Street, sponsored by Fifth Third, dedicated to Lowell Hawthorne.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help. You know, most of my life I was a resident of Wayne County, and so I'm here to help because Treasurer Shabri wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Take the first step towards staying in your home by going down to the Wayne County Treasurer's office on the 5th floor of the International Building in Greektown.
Stop by today to learn more about our payment plans and especially the newly extended interest rate reduction program.
Already in the payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Making property tax payments is now easier than ever. We have placed payment kiosks in Rite Aid stores and community centers across the county. We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
Welcome back to Main Street, the show that's helping you get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the jobs. Shifting the conversation from politics to economics, because we need more tangible solutions in our economy. And there are a lot of organizations doing the work on the ground, and we're going to be bringing them here to you each and every single week. Sponsored by Fifth Third Bank with Robin Barnes and Mario Bueno. My name is Ryan Mack. This show is dedicated to Lowell Hawthorne, late and great CEO of Golden Crest. And we have with us today one of my favorite organizations, Neighborhood Services Organization. Thank you so much, Sharon Meyer, for coming out on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Now, again, I know Sheila Clay is a very near, dear friend of mine, and I'll tell you, I brag about NSO everywhere I go, because the work that you all are doing to uplift and to break the cycle of poverty in the community is phenomenal. I'll say sometimes if you see it, I take my little white Ford Fusion and bring the pizza up there right by and serve pizzas to the guys and the women out there that are just happy to have a good conversation, and they always say such phenomenal things about the work you guys are doing. I mean, your work precedes you, okay? So, Sharon, tell us a little bit about what's happened over there at NSO lately.
Well, first of all, thank you for your pizzas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what he's referring to is the Tamani Center, which is on 3rd downtown, and that is a 24-hour homeless. It's not a shelter. It's a 24-hour homeless crisis center, and it's pretty exciting because what we do is the door's always open. We are the least barrier center in Detroit. That means you can be on drugs to walk in, you can be drunk, because our theory is they're going to come down and they're going to need us, and we're not leaving them out on the street.
Right.
So when you speak of the pizzas, it's interesting because no one is hungry inside that center, but there is no kitchen.
Right.
So it's people like you that come forward in the community that kind of step up to the plate and help out. But we like to prevent that people from ending up at the Tamani Center, of course, and so one of our big programs is our Youth Link program. We help 14 to 24-year-olds get skills to get jobs. But I think what we do that's even better than that is we have case managers that work with these young people from the moment they walk in the door. So they follow them through the system, and they help them get into the job training or get what they need. There was a young man this summer, his name was Charlie, and he started in the system early last year, let's say February. And as the system went through, he was moving along, progressing, and he was going to be part of our job training program in the summertime. Well, what happened was Michigan State University sent him an application to come to their engineering camp for the summer. And any student, you know, you mentioned people across the board that inspire us, any student would want to go to this. And he wanted to go, but he got rid of the paper and he hid it. And the reason he got rid of the paper was there was one barrier on it that wouldn't stop the rest of us. It was the list of supplies he needed to bring.
Wow.
And they were simple. They were jeans, they were T-shirts, they were shampoo.
Basic needs.
Oh, wow.
None of these things were in his home. And he knew he couldn't take that paper to his mom.
But they're basic for us.
Yeah, you and I
Basic.
think it's
Right,
fine.
basic.
So what happened was, because he was part of the system, because he had someone looking out for him, not an official mentor, but one of our case managers, she asked about
Which
it.
is a mentor as far as I'm concerned. You all have some great workers over there. I consider all of them to be mentors.
One of our mentors.
Yeah.
She got the list, and we have no system to do this. You know, it's not like, oh, there's some fairy godmother that's dropping these things down. But an ask was put out there. People came forward just like you with the pizza, and he got the stuff. He filled a duffel bag, and he went to the program.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, life-changing, life-changing what's happening.
Yeah. Round of applause.
Thank you.
Love that.
So you, because again, a part of our this show, Main Street, is getting jobs, creating jobs, which is education and workforce development. So Youth Link actually has it's a phenomenal program. Talk a little bit about, because you all said you work with 14 to 17 and then 18 to 24-year-olds. You are actually looking for more individuals in that 18 to 24-year-old segment who want to go through workforce development. Talk a little bit about that.
Right, so we can help you if you don't have a GED, if you don't have a high school diploma, if you just have a dream, we're there for you. So we have all kinds of programs, and there's openings right now. I mean, you just go to our website, just call right now. There are openings to get in.
What's
and
the website?
It's www.nso.mi.org. And so go there, and there's openings to get into anything from truck driving to cosmetology, all of those programs. No money, just the dream.
Jobs.
And that's the end, and it ends with the jobs. It's not like we're saying, here's all of this training, and then find your own job. There are jobs at the end of it.
Wow.
Okay,
So-
so we let's understand this,
You gotta
because
understand. You gotta unpack
we
it.
got to get clear.
Unpack it for 'em, Robert.
Because
Gotta
I got to
unpack
unpack this. Let me,
Yeah.
okay, I'm unzipping it.
You got to.
So you telling me you have courses, classes for skilled trade.
Exactly.
You don't have to have a GED, or you give the GED if
How
they
much
don't
do
have
they
a high
cost?
school diploma. How much is
Free.
it cost? Free.
Free.
It's
Free
free.
99.
And then
Free
after
99.
that, we're going to help you get a job.
Absolutely.
So when you walk out of my door, out of my classroom, you're going to be employed.
Absolutely.
I don't want to hear another excuse.
No
about
excuses.
this, about
No more
not having a
excuses.
job.
It's
This
exactly.
is free, and she's
Yeah.
begging for you to come.
And you don't have enough people
She
signing
don't have
up.
enough people.
That's right.
What is going on out here?
Right.
Excuse gone.
Well,
Gone.
you know,
Do not
well, it's not an excuse.
No, it is.
The soil.
At this point,
No,
it is
hold on a second, hold on.
This is the tough love we was talking
we can
about.
sing together, we can't talk together. Jay Alexander, look, the soil does affect the seed.
Yeah.
As Jay Alexander said, unfortunately, so now what you're talking about is you have all the resources available, but now what they're suffering from is scarcity mindset. Because at the end of the day, it's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness.
Exactly.
So you're dealing with what you're dealing with, unfortunately, in these areas, in these populations. East Side's, it's not as dense as the West Side right now, so the crime actually has shifted to the West Side. But you're talking about populations that come from single-family homes, father more than likely incarcerated. It's a culture that has a legal cynicism, so it looks at the structure of government or systems that are in place as being a sham.
So you're saying they might not even trust.
They don't
what's
even
going on
believe.
out
They don't
here.
even believe it would help them.
Don't even believe it
The
exists.
first thing is belief. What do you believe?
Well,
Right?
how
So-
can you believe if you don't try?
Well,
I need you to try.
well, listen again. The soil does affect. I'm not. Hold on.
I mean, we agree.
What we do is we transform the way people believe. But don't get it mistaken. There's a reason why. There's a reason why we actually hold belief systems that say all you have to do is believe. That Abraham was deemed righteous because of his faith. When you're talking about kids who are growing up that everything they see is the inverse of what we're talking about.
Right.
The inverse, the opposite. What you see, you manifest.
Right.
Okay, I give
That's
that.
all I'm saying.
So,
That's all I'm
so
saying.
Sharon, talk
What
a
I'm
little
saying
bit
is
about that, 'cause-
their organization gives it a shot now.
Because Sharon, this is getting deep here, and I want you to delve into this a little bit here, because Sharon, this is a real problem.
Exactly.
This is a real deficit
It's
in
an
our
epidemic in
community.
Detroit right now.
This is going on where we have,
Absolutely.
again, every teacher will tell you that 18 to 24 demographic
Right.
is almost like the forgotten demographic.
Right.
Right.
How are you all coping with this? I mean, what are some? I know this is a big challenge that you all are facing just to get people to do your free programming.
Right. And I think the thing is that the thing that I'm really proud about NSO is we meet people where they are. So we're going out into the community where they are, because you can't expect everybody to come here, although
to
they're
you.
probably all watching our show today.
Right.
So that will work. But we meet people where they are, and that's across our programs, from the youth program to the Tamani Center to our senior program. We have a program that's for senior people that have mental illnesses, and we meet them where they are by going into their homes. I mean, that is our philosophy about meeting people where they are. And that's what we're trying with YouthLink. It's not fast. It's not a quick answer. Just like dealing with mental illness of seniors, meeting them in their home isn't the quickest way to do
You are dealing
it.
with the population that's the most at risk, 18 to 25.
Right.
Yeah.
But also,
That's hard to deal with, man.
Also, the ones that are probably more hardened and jaded right now,
Right.
being at that stage. So it is hard to develop.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, and absolutely is true. But I teach. Okay, so I teach. I'm a tough teacher. I'm math, science, and economics. Okay, I understand. What we need to stop doing is telling people they're at risk. You the hardest group. You're not. You're a King's kid. You can do this. And if you have the facilities there, I don't ever,
I think it's about telling them that. I think it's about understanding who are we going to help.
I mean,
first.
but that's us. But that's
we
what
define
the
at
ones
risk
who
as
know.
number one. Hold on a second. And number one, not having a stable home.
Okay.
Number two, not having transportation.
Right.
Number three, having a mother or parent that number one hasn't finished high school or doesn't even have a license or social security.
But
card.
Mario, they're told that
We're
all the
talking about
time.
No. I'm not talking about telling them. I'm talking about what population are we focusing on.
Okay, well, okay.
It's easy to hold on. It's easy to take a good kid and make him better.
It
Yes,
is.
It's
It
another
is.
thing taking a kid who's an 18-year-old carrying a gun, selling heroin packs on the east side, who unfortunately right now, 47 gunshots in the past 7 days in Detroit that we don't talk about.
But that's
28
that's
gunshots
fine.
in the last 3 days on the east side. We don't talk about
And well,
that.
okay, no, we
These
do
are the
talk
ones
about
need
it.
to
We
help.
talk
No, no,
about
no,
it.
no. We
talk
talk about
it, and
sex
she's
scandals.
we talk no,
talk about dudes.
that's on a national level.
Well-
But right here, we're talking about she's in the community. She's going
She's
out.
talking about that. She has 50 open spots for 18 to
Okay, but
24
she-
because these kids aren't engaged. These young adults aren't engaged.
Now,
I think we need to have a more positive conversation with the
You know what?
children in regards to
These aren't children.
So
Let's
they
brag
ain't
about it
talking-
for a
18,
second.
24.
Were you fitty? I
It's
mean,
that
come on, they
slap you in the
kids to
face
you.
and take your
So,
car,
Sharon-
carjack you. They ain't children.
There was a program, Sharon, that I knew that you all were having. Just again, because there was a program, Sheila Clay told me about it. As far as I'm concerned, it just blew my mind away how this was not in every headline newspaper, okay? So I can just brag about you for a second. here.
Right.
This is a program, and you know more about it than I do, obviously, that these individuals had learning disabilities, and these are individuals who are forgotten about. They're just thrown away as but you all helped them to start their own businesses, and even had a business fair for individuals. individuals with learning disabilities
Right.
becoming entrepreneurs because they messed around and went to NSO.
So,
now they believe
now they
that they
believe.
can do
Yeah.
something. Talk about that.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind. That makes me want to walk out of here right now. Talk about that.
So that's our Life Choices program, and that's on Woodward in the city. And what we do is we give them a chance to build whatever business they're thinking of. So we've had people do everything from making blankets to, we have one girl who actually is not verbal, and she does cartoon art. It's very funny. It's very funny. And she sells it at different fairs, but they were at Noel Night, and they were very successful
This
this
is
past
amazing to me.
weekend.
Right.
So
How did-
one-on-one, we work with them. The thing about Corporate Detroit is we have a lot of people from Charter One, and we have people from Fifth Third and different banks that come in and they'll volunteer and do the art therapy with the kids every
Wow.
day. So
And
they
how do they
help
get in
build
Life
these
Choices?
businesses.
If someone wants to get in it or get their child in or a relative, how do they
Just
get
call.
in Life?
Just call.
Same number.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's just like the homeless and everything else. We don't have barriers. So we're here for you. We the waiting list goes more on the end of let's get more donations. We don't make less services. So
Right,
That's
good.
that's that we're here
good.
for the community.
And so you all have, again, so you have the GED programs as well.
Right.
So individuals who would want to go back and get their education. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think that back to your saying of getting to that population and to the GED and that, what happens once they get a case manager is whatever barrier they have as an individual, whether it's social, economical, or anything else, that's what this case manager is working through.
Directly
so if
through.
they know they need a GED, that's what they're working through. If they know they're not motivated, that's what they're working through. If they know they need the clothes to get to the camp this summer, that's what we're working through. So it's so one-on-one and so personalized that whatever our goal is always to make that person's dreams come true. It's not our dreams for them.
Have you been able to get in the schools?
Yes, we are in the
Excellent.
schools. We're in Osborne High School is one of the schools that we're in, and throughout
Not
the
in
school
Cody
district.
yet? Not in Cody yet?
We're not in Cody.
Not
we
yet.
Are,
No,
no,
we are, you know.
No, not yet.
no, not yet.
For
Where-
those
can
of
you
them,
get us
we
there?
have some of the people are
Well,
offside.
yeah.
that
Sorry,
are
I'm like,
giving
I'm
the
looking
Randy
for
said
my
that
phone.
Principal Matthews, he's definitely open.
Yes.
There's three Cody High, but excellent. To
Yeah,
be in
Jonathan
the high
Matthews
school
is a good guy.
before.
Really good guy.
Excellent. And the principals referring the ones that need to be referred. And
Absolutely.
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So what do you all need? Because, again, you all are helping homelessness. You're helping at-risk youth. You're helping get jobs. You're helping to feed them. You're helping to pull them together, give them resources. What do you all need? If NSO were to say, we need these right now. Funding is one of them right now.
Right.
And so you all have a year-end capital campaign, obviously. How do people donate?
You can donate online at www.nso/mi.org. But this other thing we're doing right now is for the youth, actually for the seniors and for our recently homeless and the homeless, is we have a Holiday Elf program. And it's
Saw
really
that.
simple.
Here.
For the kids, we let them each pick what they'd like, where they'd like a $25 gift card from. And we do that on purpose. Instead of saying, do you want a shirt or something?
I love it.
We give them the power to go to the store they want to go to, whether it's, Walmart or,
Or
Target.
CVS.
Or
If they
CVS.
If they need
Yeah.
a basic needs like
Yeah.
that one young
He could have
senior.
done whatever he wanted
Wow.
with it. So
Love
it gives them a little bit of power. So
Yeah.
that's on our website. And people are signing up. Like every time I open my email, new people have signed up to be
Good.
elves. So
Oh,
we're
great.
definitely coming
I
forward.
love it.
But we do that throughout the holidays, and they'll deliver them. And then we're also teaching them, speaking of teaching people before, they have bad skills, is that before they even get the gift, they're writing the thank you note.
Oh, right.
Love
Because
it.
here's the thing.
Love it.
This, it's a two-way street. So
Right.
we're trying to
Yeah.
teach them to, and it
It's a
works.
state of mind.
That's right. That
Absolutely.
we're
No, you're transforming
grateful.
generations. Absolutely.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
How many? What's the size of NSO now? How many? What's the staff size of NSO?
We have 247 employees.
Oh, wow.
And-
Wow.
More than-
Spanning all of Detroit?
All
You're
of
not,
Detroit.
You're not a mom and pop shop.
No, and
You're
I
doing
mean,
some major things.
Exactly. And
Here, I thought
someone-
Mr. McGee was doing all the work.
he
He just in
he
all
is
the pictures.
everywhere. That's
He's in
right.
all the pictures.
He is everywhere. But it's the one-on-one that we're doing that's very labor intensive. We have an autism program that we're doing.
Oh,
where
wow.
I just talked to one of the therapists, and she only has three clients. That's her job.
Oh,
She's working, 40 hours a week on 3
And
Kids.
so this
Three
number you
kids, yeah.
provided, anyone if they wanted to get in connection with
Yeah.
the autism program, and this
Absolutely.
is all of Detroit, even Southwest.
Yes. Yes. So they can call and they can be a part of the autism
What's the number
program.
again, please?
Yeah.
It is 313-305-0322. So they're welcome to call that number or
Do you all deal with? I mean, because we've talked about on this show before. Do you deal with mental illness? Do you have any counselors that can deal with? Are you a resource? Because there are many individuals, and I've said this on the show. I actually had a family member who I knew that he was suffering from mental illness, and I knew without a shadow of a doubt. I said, you know what? There's no way in the world that this individual should be holding a gun. And sadly, he ended up committing a crime. He ended up shooting someone. He was committed because he was deemed clinically insane. Are you someone that we can call to say, hey,
Yes.
we just need some help because this individual is not right in his mind. He needs some support.
Yes, yes, I'm really proud of our mental illness programs. The one is the senior program where we go into the homes, and I could talk for a whole half hour on that program. It's just incredible. But another program we have that, this is the reason I took the job at NSO, because this program really touched my heart. Is
I can feel your spirit. You jumping through the chair, right? You jumping through the chair.
We meet the patients in the hospital when they're suffering from mental illness. So that's a big thing because there's not a lot of resources for mental illness. There are not a lot of beds. We meet them and make sure they get what they need.
Good.
Whether it's getting them referred to stay in the hospital, whether it's getting them referred to services in the community, we're by the bedside.
That's a game changer.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Awesome.
I love it.
Throughout
Awesome.
the, yeah, that's
It's a
why.
game changer.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's what you need when
Again,
you're
it's
suffering from
transforming
that.
someone who
Yeah.
literally would lose hope. Now they have hope.
Yeah, yeah. Another program I'm really proud of is our we do in the nursing homes. We help with mental illness there. I went to a nursing home and met this lady. She had on this T-shirt and it said "Feisty" on it, and she was sitting in this little room, which
That
was
wasn't it wasn't Robin.
no, she looked like her, but it was very small, and there was like little candy bars on the shelf, and she had her leg up in a wheelchair because she couldn't move. And so she said to me, she said, "Sharon, I'm an NSO graduate," and I'm like,
Wow.
"How did you get to be an NSO graduate?" And she said, "When I first came here, I was suffering from depression, and I didn't come out of my room. And I would go to therapy, and I'd move forward." And she said, "Now I run a store
Wow.
at the nursing home, making a
That's a
difference
good
at every
story.
age of life."
Wow.
And she's running a business.
Now she's gonna get
Wow.
charged.
She's running a
Wow.
business.
Economic development.
Well,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
There
yes.
you go.
So what? Somebody was not. I just know that after hearing that story, somebody out there says, you know what? I want to donate to NSO, and I want to get that number one more time. So that person out there that heard that great story, that was on the edge about donating, but now they just want to go ahead and reach in their pocket and donate to the good organization that's doing good work, that's employing over 200 people across the city, that's doing great work, giving individual counseling. Now they've got their pin up. What's the telephone number again?
313-305-0322.
And one more time.
313-305-0322.
And with that, so do you have a stay woke tip of the day today, Mario?
Stay woke. What I would say is definitely be conscious that it's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness.
You have a stay woke tip of the day?
When the resources present themselves, take advantage of it.
And you want to jump in? We always have a stay woke. What's the one thing that you want to have taken away from the day that somebody says to stay woke?
I think that you should work on turning money into goodness instead of more plastic stuff in the world. Let's take our resources and start turning them into goodness.
That's right.
Well, I'll leave my stay woke tip of the day. If you woke up this morning without a goal, you still aren't woke. So that's the stay woke tip of the day. This show is dedicated to the late, great Lowell Hawthorne. Rest in peace, my brother. Thank you, Fifth Third Bank, for the sponsorship. The show, Main Street, helping individuals get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the jobs. To all the guests doing such great work, Jay Alexander and Sharon,
Awesome job.
come on back next week and check us out. Peace.
Donate.
Yes, donate, please.
I love that.